All right, good evening, everybody. It's Monday, August 8th, 2024. This is the Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunday, have you had a chance to take roll?
I have taken roll. Everyone is present. You have the quorum.
We'll move on to personal appearances. The first item on the agenda this evening is the Kearney Hole Optimist Club request of the Board of Aldermen's permission to close East Washington Street between South Grove Street and Jefferson Street on September 2nd, 2024 to hold the annual Labor Day Races event. I believe we have Connie here to represent the Optimist Club, and if the board didn't already see in the packet, they've already submitted adequate information, insurance information to the board. So you have the floor, Connie.
My name is Connie Crawford. Do you need my address?
No, we do not.
Okay. Connie Crawford. I've been a member of the Optimist Club for 25 years. There's been a tradition in Kearney for maybe 100 years of Labor Day races. If you've never been before, we like to shut the street down here on Washington from 33 to Grove. And we hold races for the kids. We have lots of families that come out that day. We do foot races, bike races, skateboards, roller skates, three-legged races. We do an egg toss. It's just an old-fashioned, fun morning for Labor Day. So the Optimist Club has been doing that for at least 25 years, since before I joined. So we would like your permission to hold that event on Labor Day. We would need the street closed from about 9 to 1. And that's it. Any questions about, have you guys been before?
Oh, since I was a child myself.
It's a lot of fun.
As an Optimist member myself, and then Carter as a kiddo. So yeah, it's just a good old fashioned family fun event. So I sincerely appreciate the Optimist Club continuing that tradition. Are there any questions from the board regarding the request? Simple motion. If we could entertain a motion to approve the Kearney Hole Optimist Club's request to close down East Washington Street between South Grove Street and Jefferson Street on September 2nd, 2024 from approximately 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you so much for being here.
What do we do about barricades? Do we need to make arrangements with someone to get the barricades delivered? And
Yeah, if you could maybe reach out to Eric Marshall, our Parks Director, and see if he could assist in getting those delivered.
Okay.
That would be who I recommend you talking to.
we'll talk, Eric. Okay. Thank you. Come join us if you want. We do adults too.
The adults do the egg, is there still an egg toss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still doing egg toss.
All right, thanks, Connie.
Uh-huh.
Next item under personal appearances is new employee introductions. If there's any department heads that would have any new employees. I know there's one fellow lifelong Kearney Bulldog here, but if there's any, you guys would like to introduce any new employees here tonight?
Yeah, so in our Public Works, I'd like to introduce Mark Mann. He's a new at our sewer plant.
Good.
And then we also, I think, have Thomas Johnson. No, but he also is new in our water department labor.
Great. Welcome, Mark.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Is there any other department head that would like to introduce any new employees?
They are here tonight.
Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody on the board have any questions or would like to discuss any items on the consent agenda this evening? See none, if we can entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Next item is ordinances. The first ordinance we're going to discuss this evening is a motion approving bill number 31, 2024, presented by our city administrator. an ordinance of the City of Kearney, Missouri, establishing a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officers. I believe this is just the annual required ordinances, but I'll turn it over to our city administrator.
Yes, biannually, we're required by law, since we have a budget over $1 million, to file this, but we have made a decision to make sure that we never miss the biannual date and adopt it every year.
Any questions from the board on the proposed ordinance? Seeing none, if we can read the proposed ordinance on the first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance of the City of Kearney, Missouri, establishing a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance of the City of Kearney, Missouri, establishing a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials.
Make a motion to approve on second reading.
Second.
Pull the board, please.
Alderman Holt,
Aye.
Alderman King,
Aye.
Alderman Lehman,
Aye.
Alderwoman Barker.
Votes unanimous, ordinance passes on the second reading. Next item is a motion approving bill number 32, 2024, presented by our city administrator, an ordinance employing Williams and Campo PC as special legal counsel.
This ordinance would allow us to work with Patrick Corcoran on different legal, general municipal matters or any other things that we need to. He is at a rate of $212 an hour for general municipal work, and that is very slightly less than what we are doing now for city attorney work.
Mr. Corcoran is here this evening. I believe you all had the opportunity to meet him. Any questions from the board or any items you'd like to discuss here? If we could read the proposed ordinance on the first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance employing Williams and Campo PC as special legal counsel.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance employing Williams and Campo PC as special legal counsel.
Move to approve on second reading.
I'll second.
Pull the board, please.
Alderwoman Barker,
Aye.
Alderman Lehman,
Aye.
Alderman Holt,
Aye.
Alderman King.
Aye.
Votes unanimous and the ordinance passes on the second reading. Next, we'll move on to resolutions. The first resolution this evening is a motion approving Resolution 48, 2024, presented by our city administrator. A resolution authorizing and approving a public service agreement by and between the City of Kearney, Missouri and the Kearney Enrichment Council to provide public service support for the annual Oktoberfest in Kearney, Missouri this October.
So in your packet, there is an agreement where the city would be contributing over and above the funds that we are already contributing to the Enrichment Council, items to be able to support the Oktoberfest. A lot of that is not a lot of time commitment or monetary commitment. However, we will be providing security, and so that will affect the police department budget. And then the park department would be helping with trash, making sure that the sufficient bathrooms were available and that they stayed clean. Also, we will be putting up a fence because the committee would like to charge individuals that are coming into Lions Park. And there is a budget that was provided by the Enrichment Council where they believe that they and the Chamber of Commerce will split a $3,800 profit between the two of them so that they would get about $1,900 apiece. Now, that's just a budget. Maybe it would be more than that, maybe it would be less.
I appreciate staff and department heads helping figure out a way to keep the Oktoberfest going in the community this year. I think it's a very well attended event. our data that we receive shows that that's one of the biggest attended events in the community. So when the Richmond Council approached us and told us they're going to cancel this evening, I sincerely appreciate all the work that's gone into figuring this out. The only small hesitation that I have is the fact that it's getting increased funding by taxpayers, but we're still looking to charge to enter the event. However, that's my only hesitation. Are there any other questions from the board or any items of discussion on this topic?
I share your concern, but also, if we don't help this event, it's a no event at all. So we're kind of over a barrel in some aspect.
Seeing no other questions or discussion, if we can entertain a motion approving resolution 48, 2024.
Are you ready? I wasn't paying attention to you read.
Yeah,
You read it or not? I'll make a motion.
Oh, you want me to read the resolution?
yes.
A resolution authorizing and approving a public service agreement by and between the City of Kearney, Missouri and Kearney Enrichment Council to provide public service support for the annual Oktoberfest in Kearney, Missouri in October 2024.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next motion is a motion approving resolution 49, 2024 presented by our city administrator, a resolution appointing Mark Thomas to the position of Chief of Police.
The resolution that is before you now is to formalize, the mayor gets to make the appointment under our code of ordinances, and that has to be approved by the Board of Aldermen. We did post the position, and the most qualified applicant that we received an interest was Chief Mark Thomas.
Any questions or items of discussion from the board? If not, I would appreciate the board to approve my recommendation of appointing Mark Thomas to the position of Chief of Police. So if you could read the proposed resolution.
A resolution appointing Mark Thomas to the position of Chief of Police.
Make a motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you all.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
He's tip tag. He's not a temp anymore.
Next item is items for review and presentation. We do have a building code update presented by our Community Development Director, Assistant City Administrator David Pavlich.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. I didn't realize so many people would be interested in this topic tonight. We got quite the audience, but Community Development Department's working on a proposed ordinance update to the 2018 building code. I've got Mike Schwartz, our building inspector, in the audience with us today too. Fairly recent new hire. He's been a great help, and I appreciate that we do have him on our staff. A list of the proposed amendments is included in your packet. It's not in the form of an ordinance yet. We'll get that prepared for a future meeting. 7 pages of amendments might seem like a lot, but it really isn't. A lot of the changes are to insert Kearney as a jurisdiction because they're pre-made books that cities throughout the country use. We identify environmental factors such as wind, snow, and seismic zones for our area. Of course, depending where you are in the country, your zone is different. You might be dry, you might be moist, colder, warmer. And then also to reference our municipal code where it references fees, addressing violations, and appeals to our Board of Adjustment. So a lot of the sections in each of those books are pretty limited in the amendments that we propose. There are some in there that we do propose, and we try to be consistent with some of the communities around us, try to be consistent maybe a little bit with what we've done in the past, and carry that through. Some of the notable changes in the residential code between 2012 and 2018, there's a long list, might be a little bit boring, but they updated the wind design criteria and wind speed map. They use heavy timber and fire retardant wood as an option to meet fire resistance standards is included. brings back the option to use two one-hour firewall assemblies to separate townhomes. It establishes standards for sunrooms, reduces minimum area for habitable rooms, clarifies minimum ceiling heights so they're more understandable, defines habitable attics, provides guidelines for retaining walls, addresses requirements for unvented crawl spaces, floor joist span tables are reduced, updated deck provisions and requirements for deck posts and lateral connections, revises tables for header supports, makes modifications to ventilation for exhaust systems, adds a new table for load-bearing studs, updates soffit installation requirements, modifies masonry veneer installation requirements, modifies U-factors for windows, clarifies the use of supplying return ducts in the attic, modifies requirements for carbon monoxide alarms and tamper-resistant receptacles, and integrates new materials and methods of construction that were tested and proven by previous code sections. Notable changes in the commercial code include accessory storage spaces to be classified as part of the primary occupancy, not as separate occupancies, elevator safety improvements to reduce the chance of smoke intrusion if there's a fire in the building, updated occupant load factors for business uses, increases live load calculations for decks and balconies, updated wind speed maps and seismic values, requires bracing inspections for wood trusses during construction process, new alternative fastener schedule for laminated decking, and modifications to header girder spans for exterior bearing walls. Those are not things that are listed in the code section, they're just integrated into the book, but those are some of the new things. Mike is familiar with the 2018 building code, so he's a good resource for us to have. Many of the communities in our area are already on the 2018 code, and a lot of the builders that build in town are already familiar with the 2018 code. It'd be just a matter of us catching up to speed. Clay County is also another community that is like us on the 2012 code. They have started their process, and they will have that completed in early 2025. We hope to have ours done by the end of the year, so there'll be an ordinance prepared at one of the future meetings. There's a 90-day hold period, but we'll ask that the new code go into effect January 1st, 2025. It's a little bit easier. We can look at a building permit number, integrates the year, so we know that if it's under the updated code or if it's under our old existing code. So if anybody has questions, we'll be happy to try and answer them.
Yeah, David, if you could just, I know this is a question I've discussed not publicly, but it's something I think I'd like just answered publicly is, I think there's been, from the 2018 update, there's been at least 2 other updates to the codes. And if you could just explain why we're not jumping, we're skipping straight to the most latest update. For me, I think you have a good explanation, but for me, I look at, for health and safety purposes, why don't we go to the most recent code?
Sure. Well, in our Kansas City area, a lot of the communities like to work together and go to the same code because builders work in different communities. None of the communities have moved forward with the 2021 set. I think the 2024 probably will come out or is under review at some point in time, and that'll come out soon. It was the board's priority to go to the 2018 code. We want to continue to match what our other communities are doing. There's kind of been an issue with some 2021 energy efficiency requirements in Kansas City, if you guys have read the news. So what we probably do is go to the 2018 and then work out the 2024. I imagine other communities will try to focus on the 2024, not the 2021.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Thank you for the report.
Thanks.
We'll move on to mayor's communications. First thing I want to do this evening is have a very special guest here this evening with us all the way from Stuttgart, Germany, Julia Smeed. We had a foreign exchange student a couple years ago stay with us, Alex, her older brother, and so Julia's here a couple weeks with us. So welcome, Julia. Glad you could make it this evening. And next item is if I could ask Ms. Shelley Daniel to provide an update on the Shadowbrook Stormwater Project.
Yes, thank you. I did get a notification today from the contractor that they plan on working on the Shadowbrook culvert replacement project after Labor Day. So right now, they're planning on starting September 4th.
Great, that's exciting. It's a long overdue project. It's going to be a lot of work in the area, so ask the residents to please be patient, but that's been a long time coming, so good news. Thanks for that update. That concludes my mayor's communications. We'll move on to the city administrator's report.
Just regular business is that the next regular board meeting will be on Monday, August 19th. Something that is new for us is we are having our very first all-team meeting on Thursday of this week, on August 8th, and City Hall will close at 2 p.m. that day and then be open again Wednesday morning. So, and the most exciting thing that I want to talk about tonight is Shelley did amazing work on the planning Sustainable Places grant application. And she found out today that she is one of the highest scoring grant applications, the highest scoring on Mark's list. And she didn't do it alone. We had a lot of help from residents who took time to comment, and we are going to be submitting more grant applications, and there will be other public comment. And so we hope that our residents come through for us there too. But I just am blown away by the hard work that Shelley has been putting in on these grant applications, doing all the extra work to make sure that we have plenty of letters of support, and it's paying off. And congratulations and good job.
Yeah, thanks for helping make sure Kearney's on the radar, and oftentimes at Mark, it's not the Northland or the smaller the communities that get the fair shake at the federal tax dollars. So thanks for being a good voice for all of us.
First time ever that Kearney has been #1, she said, so.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Thank David too for the help. He's a very good resource here in Kearney. Carolyn to also had to help me like get some of these letters out so much short. It's very short time frame. So appreciate the team.
Absolutely, we do too. We'll move on to Alderman discussion. Alderman Barker, do you have anything this evening?
I know they might not be quite finished, but I just want to give whoever is in charge of resurfacing this street has been great and minimal disruption, and it's probably the best repaving job I've ever seen. So thanks to whoever made that happen.
Alderman Lehman?
Do we have any update on the water tower? I know the last I heard they were ordering stuff.
They're waiting for, it's under order, and we're just waiting for the materials to come in, and once we get that delivered, we'll be ready to go. Any other update?
No, they do send updates like I think weekly or every other week, and it's still saying they're still waiting for materials and just the paperwork needed to begin the project. But they are on the clock, so.
I know we skipped cleaning our old water tower because it started to come down, but it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, we've got some comments about that, so that's what prompted that topic. The other thing I'd like to mention, we had an officer that is Facebook famous. It just amazes me, walking through the splash pad, full gear. I think he had his service weapon and everything on, so.
He still worked another 3 hours after that, by the way, without a change of uniform.
Wow. It just, I mean, to me, it did my heart good to see one of our officers out there, full uniform, and playing in the splash pad with the kids, and was having a great time. And I heard a lot of comments about, we have some of the best officers in the metro, and So now it's exciting to have our chief on board, and so it's fun time, so.
Alderman Holt?
First, I want to thank everybody for coming. I have been on this board for many years, and I have always been saying that I would love to see this place full for every meeting. And so I think it's awesome to see everyone here, and I hope you come back at our next meeting and the next meeting after that. But also, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow's election day, and votes matter. And so while we still have those privileges, we need to take advantage of them. So I encourage everyone to vote tomorrow,
Polls open at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Alderman King?
Nothing.
All righty. We do have an executive session notice up this evening in closed session per RSMO 610021 subsection 1, legal actions, causes of legal action or litigation involving a public governmental body, and any confidential and privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys in 610021 subsection 12 to discuss matters pertaining to negotiated contracts. And a reminder, our meeting will be adjourned from there. So this does conclude our public open portion of the meeting this evening. If the board could consider going into an executive session at 6:56 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman King. Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Lingman. Alderman Barker.
Aye.
Vote unanimous. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you for being here.